to be notified on my next live. I'm here every day about 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 or whatnot. You know what I mean? If you want to tap and and get notified or whatever, go ahead and join the live. Join the fan club. I don't know why they call it fan club. You know what I mean? I don't want people to be a fan of me. I just want people to participate and be active. You know what I mean? And just and then, if all you do is just listen, then and you get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like then, uh, hey, you know what I mean? Like, but but anyway, all right, guys, double tap the screen if you haven't done so. That's the least. I'll do that for myself right now. Anyway, have a good day. Peace. I wanted to talk about like Trump and profiling him, and as a businessman, and as like why or who he is as a person, right? So, but then I was like, you know what? Typically that's controversial, so I kind of stay away from that. But like, I wanted to talk about him more as a what you call it, like profiling him as a like how he thinks, right? Versus picking sides. I think people when they do these lives, they pick sides. Like, are you a red or are you a blue, right? I just want to like analyze this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be fun to do. But then I haven't really. When I thought about certain things I want to bring up as far as like how he thinks, right? So like if you look at what he does and how he thinks, right? Like the whole Mamdani situation with New York, right? He said they asked him, "So you gonna call Mamdani? You know the mayor of New York, the new mayor, right? To work on New York, right?" And then Trump was like, "No, have him call me." You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I think Trump doesn't play a role where he hates people. He doesn't hate people, right? He doesn't think that he's superior. You know what I mean? Or like his race is superior because as a businessman, right? You win when people love you. Does that make sense? So for him, and everything is a deal, is a negotiation, right? So in essence, what does Mamdani have? Does um, Trump want, right? What does he have that Trump want, right? Maybe Trump wants to fix the city of New York, right? Because that was his hometown, and a lot of his businesses over there, right? What does Mamdani have? Does he want, right? Maybe he needs to fix the town up so that his business can thrive over there. Does that make sense? So, in that essence, then yes, you know what I mean. Like Trump has no hate towards this guy. You know what I mean. But ideologically, you know what I mean. Like obviously, the two sides don't match, right? Don't mix well. You have the like liberals, then you have the conservatives, right? Two very opposite end of the spectrum. That's why we can't have a resolution to snap or government um, uh, debt fix or whatnot, right? So because of that, I feel like you know, like yeah, Trump was will be all happy to talk to Memnani. You know what I mean? Like, but he's it is what it is though. He said Memnani's got to call him first, right? So the way it works is someone has to acknowledge the problem, right? Is it a working problem? No, for Trump, I don't think it's a working problem, right? Trump is willing to work with you, but it is a negotiation problem, though, right? Someone wants something more than the other person, right? There's no compromise. You know, Trump's the art of the deal guy, right? He's the art of the deal. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out what the art of the deal is. If you want a deal with Trump, you have to give him something that he's gonna want, right? And usually, what he wants becomes more of a chess piece than what you think you want, right? Because Trump maybe have an ultimate plan that's ahead that you don't can't see because he's masterminding a lot of different things, right? But you have your own agenda and you want the certain aspects of a resolve that Trump has, right? So you have your own agenda, your plans, right? But the problem here is this, right? Trump thinks about a plan in in a coming back full circle type of way. You know what I mean? So his plan might be like, yeah, you can have everything you want right now, but we're gonna come back at you from this angle, right? Bypass all the loopholes and still get you in the same, or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's like when you analyze, you know, the way Trump works. You know what I mean? Like you have to sit down and think, hey, hey, what is he up to? He's giving me all that I want, but what is he up to, right? So that's why Chuck Schumer came up with this. Well, yeah, let's extend the ADA, right? The Affordable Care, or the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, right? And then we can negotiate afterwards, right? So he wants to, he wants. The thing is, the ACA is about to expire, right? There's things in the ADA that's about to expire, right? And so that's where Chuck Schumer has, and the Democrat Party is holding the line, right? You know what I mean? And it has a lot to do with the previous administration's things that's in there. You know what I mean? Like, you can talk about Obama, right? But I think when Trump took his first term, all the Obama stuff got done the way Trump liked it to be done, right? But it's the last administration, which is Biden's inclusion of their policies that went into the ACA that they need to extend, right? But but Trump, the way he sees it is that it's expiring. So why would I'm not gonna play ball with you? You know what I mean? Like, um, yeah. So yeah, Trump's not gonna. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, they're using Snap to say Trump's a tyrant, right? Because Trump is making people starve. You know what I mean? And then trying to have federal court say, hey, look, you know what I mean? Like, release the contingency funds, which is used for emergencies, right? It's only about $8 billion worth that won't even last a month, right? So you spend all November, it's done, right? If the government shutdown goes past November, then snap, and the $8 billion goes to waste anyway. That's why the Supreme Court ruled that Trump does not have to abide by the federal court's decision to release the contingency fund. The Supreme Court says, you know, Trump has the right to not use the contingency fund for SNAP, because that would just be a waste of money, right? For a short period of time that people's gonna probably make it through anyways. Let's hold for next month. We might need it then, right? Because people might really be hungry, right? Look at one of my videos. What I say, right? I said this before they made a decision, right? Everyone says Wednesday. Wednesday is gonna be the day, right? And then I said, no, they're just gonna see how long people last without food stamps, right? And exactly what it is. They're gonna see how long people last without food stamps. I ain't playing. But yeah, that's what's going on with that, right? Um, Trump's an interesting guy. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like,